Alright, today we've got something a little different for the content. I thought I would look back at a production that I kind of just started, maybe dabbled with for a couple hours or so, but wanted to get back into it, kind of wrap it up, get it to a place where it feels more like a complete production, and then at that point you could probably write to it or send it out to somebody, a lot of use cases right there. But I am basing it off of like an NCT track, which is like a group of K-pop artists essentially. They're pretty well known in like the Asian market and internationally getting bigger. Definitely growing fans everywhere, but there's not too many, I guess, like references when it comes to other people producing K-pop. So I thought it was cool to find a couple different producers on just like YouTube, things like that, to kind of refer to, draw inspiration from. Definitely very important. Like, I just love learning how other people do things, using those to my ability, incorporating it in a way that feels comfortable for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that first. Just look at some NCT inspiration from other producers, and then I'll get into the session and we'll check it out together. All right, so after looking back at the reference on YouTube, I kind of want to just go through everything step by step, see where I can make improvements on what I already have, but it needs to be at a point where it feels like there's more variation included. So yeah, we'll go with the timbale first. I think that was like the main thing I just added right now before I started recording. So it's like a before and after. It just adds an extra hint. Pitched it a little bit differently and also reversed it just to give it its own pocket, so that not everything's playing at the same time. Metallic industrial feel, if you will, not like a traditional use case. Those not just like K-pop related, but a lot of production videos, there's ways to repurpose what you've done already, use the same sound in a different way to keep some familiarity while also making a noticeable change in the instrumental. So yeah, I kind of just have this transitional area. You could maybe make it a pre-chorus, pre-verse, whatever you want right there. But also the pluck is also changing in between that section. Just offering some variation. So yeah, I just added that real quick. So it's really changing the energy, slowed it down quite a bit with just adding a different structure for the notes, and transitions into this part as well. Slightly different than that part that just played, but it's in the same pitch area. That's all well and good, but where I left the project off, I just kind of threw in some chords as a placeholder. But now as I'm listening back, I feel like the chords could be different. They could just change the energy of the overall section right there. I feel like this is a high energy song, but maybe not fully energetic in the way of like a major chord progression, or at least not the entire thing. It doesn't need to be super complex in terms of progression, but it's more so just about the feel itself. Especially like as people are listening, that's the more important part, is the feelings that are coming across to those people. Cool. All right. I dabbled for a bit. That part took a good maybe 5-10 minutes, so I just kept it off camera. But sometimes like production isn't always like coming to your senses right away. Like sometimes it'll take a little bit of time, and then yeah, other times you obviously do have those moments where it clicks. Like you just get the idea right on the spot, implement it, and it goes well from there. But yeah, I definitely changed the chord progression a lot. And then just for fun, I also experimented with using the same exact progression, but doubling the time. So elongating the entire thing. That part sounds pretty big, pretty energetic. I think a bigger key to it as well, on top of the chords, is also just the rhythmic variation versus kind of like the demo chords I had just placed in there. You could honestly probably like take one note or one chord and make an entire song just by changing the rhythm of that particular piece. So it's pretty crazy how powerful a tool that is. And I think for myself, I'm still trying to learn how powerful it is, how effective you can use that and move on to something else. Been working on a lot of the risers or drops, bass rumbles. Those are pretty big in K-pop as a genre, but of course you could use that, you know, in so many other pieces of music as well. But yeah, you know, layering is very important for that. So a lot of cashmere stuff right here. These ones are a little more intense of a bass drop, just like a very short duration. They have a lot of content in there, very effective in transitions, or you know, you could even flip those and make those a sample somehow. The pluck instrument as well, once again reusing it in another way, resampling my own idea, I guess. And then just using these contents, chopping it up a little bit, reversing it, transitioning into a different type of bass or 808, we'll see. Probably be the next section. But yeah, here's the intro for now. Nothing too crazy there, just like an EQ filtering opening up, at the beginning, and then volume automation as well. All those things, you know, over time just make a lot of difference. More often than not, I think doing less is just as effective as doing more, because there's less stuff for the listener to kind of get distracted by or overwhelmed by. Not too complicated of a listen, but of course, you know, if you wanted to challenge yourself, get into something very technical, very complex in nature, then that's a great way to challenge yourself and get better at production. Actually, I don't even know what this is. Apparently it's a kick. Okay, so it's a kick. I did this last session, but it's got filtering on it and bit crushing on it, and it's used more of like an ear candy. Might want to add more delay or something to that in the future. We'll see. Before I actually put the more traditional sounding pluck in that faster rhythm. Let's see, more cashmere drops. The bass rumbles, I had one in there initially, but decided to put two more transitional elements to keep the energy from one section to the other. So let me take a look at that. But it does work quite well with the hi-hat, or sorry, not hi-hat, snare roll I put in there, as well as another sweeping transition. Just going to the next part. So the next section, if you were to call that verse or chorus, it'd be like the second iteration of that. So additionally, there's nothing yet, but I think I might want to alter the bass part or add an entirely new bass sound in there just to make something new. So that'll probably be like the next piece I work on. But yeah, we could listen to the chord going into the next section. I think that chord elongated right there works pretty well. And then yeah, right there, I actually like that the second section is a little bit sparse, has less content in it. That'd be great for maybe like a rap section or something that builds more into percussion as the verse is going on. So that's one way we could do it there. I enjoy doing. So yeah, I'll stop it there for now. Honestly, a part 2 would be pretty cool. Maybe I could wrap up the song, and yeah, that'd be awesome, because I like where this is headed so far. It's something different for me in terms of experimenting with new genre, experimenting with new ways to utilize sounds, utilize the same sound over and over, but in different mediums, different ways of kind of pushing the boundary on